watch the highlights, but they were awesome highlights. Let's go! It starts with an A and ends with anxiety. Off the charts levels of passion! This is a nightmare! With you wherever you are, welcome to LFR. I've never been more resentful to do this. Leafs win! 3-2! Over the Rockford IceHogs, man! Oh, and victory, puppies, hooray! Because every win I donate $50 to the Humane Society of Durham Region. What was that? Okay, first intermission of this game, I tweeted something. The game changed in a hilarious way. And I'm doing it anyway. At first intermission, when the Leafs were down 2-0 on home ice on Joe Bowen night, after getting called out by their head coach and a pregame speech from Joe Bowen and their general manager, I said, yeah, I don't care if they come back and win 5-2. You can't come out this flat on a night like this after the performance you just had. Listen, the Leafs won. And I'm happy the Leafs won. I am always happy. Look at me, I'm happy when the Leafs win. But that win that they pulled out of their buttocks at the end of the third period does not change my opinion about this team one iota. Because we're forgetting like a week ago, this team was doing all right. Then they have a 2-0 lead over the visiting San Jose Sharks, and they blow it and they lose in overtime. And we all thought the same thing. Ooh, good that they got a point, but that's a bad loss. But how are they going to follow it up? How are they going to follow it up? Saturday night, you get Connor McDavid and the Oilers in town. It's a big game. And for 40 minutes, it was straight up one of the most entertaining hockey games of the season for the Leafs. Even though they were losing, you are allowed to be losing. You're allowed, but context is kind of important. And then in the third period, the Oilers, hair amazingly going bleach blonde with blue aura all around them, grabbed the Leafs by the collar, zoomed up to the upper atmosphere, came back down and crashed the Leafs through a crater at center ice like Goku. All right, so that's bad. But here we go. Here's what you got. You get 2 days off, not 1, but 2 days off. Fix whatever's ailing you. Rest up, rest down, whatever you gotta do. You've been called out by your head coach. The head coach specifically calls out the leadership group. Reminder that John Tavares and Austin Matthews did not speak after the game on Saturday anyway, and it's announced that the Blackhawks don't have Connor Bedard. Connor Bedard? That guy is involved in 49% of the goals that the Blackhawks score. That is not taking out a Jenga piece and watching the tower fall down. That is replacing each and every Jenga piece with moldy orange peels. And on top of that, the Blackhawks announce a gift, a pre-Christmas gift. You know what? Maybe this one was for Hanukkah. It's that early. This one can't be for Christmas. It's for Hanukkah. Because Artem Levshunov, second overall pick. The last time the Leafs played Chicago, it was in Chicago, and Levshunov was incredible. He missed a team meeting. Naughty, and he's scratchy. Oh, and it's Joe Bowen night. If you're not a Leafs fan, you might not understand how important this night was. Joe Bowen is the voice of the Leafs. He is what most Leaf fans, especially of a certain vintage, hear. Especially when you think about cherished playoff calls from the early 2000s, because there haven't been a ton of cherished playoff calls in recent memory, with the signature phrase, "Holy MackiNAW!" And they make a big fuss about him because he's retiring. He's retiring at the end of this year, the end of the season. So they bring him into the dressing room with all the boys there, and he does the lineup card, and holy MackiNAW! Can you feel the adrenaline in the building? And as part of the video that the Leafs released of Joe Bowen in the Leafs dressing room, Craig Berube's there. Oh yeah. Bunch of other guys are there. obviously. All of Joe Bowen's family are there, of course. And so is Brad Treliving, the general manager! If you're a player, that's your boss's boss! He spoke to the team with a very heavy undertone that basically seemed to suggest, you better win this game. And they bring Joe out. We're not done. They bring Joe out to center. And they play some of his greatest moments. And he's crying, and people in the building are crying, and everyone's pumped. Come on, Joe! We're gonna win this thing for Joe! They got one shot in the first 11 minutes. One shot on goal. Dakota Joshua hit a goalpost. They had one shot. They had one shot on goal! They had one shot on goal on home ice when the Blackhawks, who don't have Bedard or Levshunov in the lineup, made it 1-0. And it was Wyatt Kaiser who scored, which isn't even fun. We all thought it was Dominic Toninato, which at least would have been kind of funny, and right now you're like, because of the name? No, not every Italian name is funny. How dare you? It's because Dominic Toninato was a Leafs draft pick in 2012. Dominic Toninato was drafted by President and GM Brian Burke. Do you understand? He did get an assist on this goal, so close enough! That was his first NHL point since January 16th, 2024! Then, moments later, the Blackhawks score again! Only this time, it got challenged for goalie interference. And you know how much it has to be goalie interference in order for it to actually be called goalie interference? It was goalie interference. And the ref said, I was right this time. That's goalie interference. No goal. So with that challenge and the no goal call, the Leafs keep themselves within one against Rockford. You haven't seen Rockford this well represented in Scotiabank Arena since Fred VanVleet was a Raptor. Do you understand? And the camera, the TSN camera, cuts away from Leaf fans high-fiving about the fact that it's no goal, right to Craig Berube the moment he lays into the entire Leafs bench. One shot on net! One! That is zero exaggeration, zero hyperbole. I probably wasn't yelling loudly enough. It's just the mic didn't pick him up. And the Leafs on the bench, they looked at each other and said, you know what, boys? The third coach we've had, the guy who happens to be coach at the moment, he's right. We can't be getting outshot like this at home. We can't be getting outscored like this at home. Not for Joe. Not for Joe! Not after that pregame speech we got from Brett. It's Brad. Oh, Brad. And so the Leafs hiked up their pants. And they rolled up their sleeves. And they drank their Popeye spinach. And it went straight to their bicep just like in the old cartoon. And they drew a penalty. And they went on the power play. And what William Nylander did on that power play, there's only one way I can describe it, and it's with a really inappropriate story. Did any of you ever have like leadership camp in school where they take the kids who are tryhards, who are trying to be on student council and stuff, and they bring you to camp for a couple days and you do a bunch of activities and you learn how to be a leader? Well, I did that. I was one of those kids who was a tryhard, and I got sent to leadership camp. And guess what we did? We took leadership camp so seriously, trying to learn how to be leaders. Just kidding. We were teenagers. We did the dumbest things ever. And we all paid attention to curfew and went to bed on time. Just kidding. One of the older kids bet the rest of us that he could pee and run at the same time. So we all gathered outside of the cabin. Like, it was a big cabin. There were at least 20 of us. And he turns his back because, you know, we gotta have some boundaries here. And he pulls his pants down just a little bit. Not all the way, just a little bit. And he starts running like this. That's what William Nylander looked like trying to gain the zone on the power play. He looked like one of my former classmates trying to run and pee at the same time. So he gives the puck away because you can't run and pee at the same time. I don't know if it'd be easier to pee and skate at the same time. I don't know. I'm not gonna bite the bullet and be the one who tries to figure it out. And the Blackhawks go the other way, short-handed, because the leadership group is bringing out stories about leadership camp. And Jason Dickinson, who I played table tennis with years ago, we were terrible together, and by that I mean I was terrible, and that's why I think he has a personal vendetta against the Leafs, because we lost the table tennis. He scored. He had a very good night. He scored. And now it's 2-0. You've had 3 goals scored on you. By the grace of spinning the wheel of goalie interference, you're not down 3-0. You're only down 2-0 after 1 at home against a depleted Blackhawks roster on Joe Bowen night, after getting called out by your head coach and getting talked to by your GM in a way that seemed to suggest this mundane Tuesday night game in December was must win. But it's okay. The Leafs came out firing in the second period. Kidding, they looked like they thought the puck was made of nitroglycerin. This was an eviscerating tweet from Anthony Petrelli. He's one of the most underrated people on Leafs anything. He's the guy who broke the Tavares trade. He said this: "Can't break out, can't cycle. Your captain is completely unengaged, and so is your best offensive player." That was a bit backhanded. That was low-key a bar. "You get outshot and outplayed every night, and your coach calls it being patient. The power play is an abomination. The product is terrible. What's it going to take for a head to roll?" And the Leafs said, "Well, we'll show you by getting as many shots shorthanded in this period as we get on the power play." They get booed off the ice. We head to the third. I'll just spoil it here. Oliver Ekman-Larsson breaks the shutout because halfway through the third period, nearly 1 second off from being 50 minutes into this game, the Leafs were getting outshot at home against the depleted Blackhawks roster on Joe Bowen night after getting called out by their head coach and a pregame speech from their GM. One of the line changes that Berube made heading into this game finally pays off. Nylander goes to the net, a thing he used to do, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson puts it on. It deflects. Oh my goodness, his 6th of the season. The Leafs are within 1. So now they got 10 minutes to tie it. And it felt great in the building. Like, it seemed to feel great in the building for like a moment, right? And then they had 9 minutes to tie it. Then they had 8 minutes to tie it. Then 7, then 6, then 5, then 4 minutes to tie it. Then, as if the hockey gods were like, you watch this, they gave the Leafs a power play. Then, as if the hockey gods were like, you watch this, they gave the Leafs a power play. Willie, I'm gonna go ahead and ask you to hold it this time. And the darndest thing happens. Willie did hold it. The puck, that is. And he got it to Austin Matthews. Matthews goes in front. Matthews shot the puck for the first time in the game, I might add, and roofed it. And he's going, get up, and doing the ear thing, and yeah! Which kind of reminded me of the meme of the guy getting a medal put over his head and then biting the medal and like winking and spraying champagne everywhere, and then the camera pans out and you realize he's third. You know what? No, whatever. You want him to win or not? They tied it with like 3 minutes to go. Then 8 seconds later, there was a goal and 2 assists on this play. I didn't know that was possible because it happened in 8 seconds. I didn't know there was enough time for 3 people to touch the puck. McCabe to Stetcher to Joshua to the front of the net, to the back of the net. From Leafs' latest, his last 7 games played, Dakota Joshua, 4 goals, 5 points, +6, 31 hits, 9 shots on goal. And the Leafs held on, and they won it for Joe Wool, that is, the guy who was in net the whole time, and they hung out to dry in his first game back in the first period. And I am left going, what am I going to do with you? I'm happy they got 2 points. I am. It's good that they got 2 points. But if anyone in the organization was going into this game and thought to themselves, they better win this game or I'm gonna, you should still do the or I'm gonna part. They won. That's great. You should still do the or I'm gonna thing. I am happy they won. Genuinely happy they won. Any day where the Leafs win is a good day to me. The day after the Leafs win is almost better because they have won for the whole day. They won last night. Like, Only part of this day involved the Leafs winning, but I'm going to go to bed, and then I'm going to wake up tomorrow, and the Leafs won yesterday, and all day tomorrow, the Leafs won yesterday. But when the Leafs came out and got outshot and got outscored and did not look prepared and gave up a shorthanded goal to a depleted Chicago Blackhawks team on home ice after the leadership group got called out by the head coach on Joe Bowen night that featured a pregame talking to from the general manager. If that is how you are going to come out of the gate, that is everything I need to know about the most soulless, bloodless, no blood in their veins, no adrenaline, no love for hockey, no love for the city, no love for your craft, no pride or honor or courage or any of those things. It's one of the most worthless, wormy groups I've ever seen. What do you need? How strong does your coffee need to be in the morning to get out of bed for this game? And it took you 50 minutes of game time, 2 hours of real time to get there. You know how many fans got tickets to this game and they didn't see a single goal? No, maybe that's their fault for leaving early. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Never leave a game early. But holy Toledo. Jesse Blake was at the game of SDPN. He said Austin Matthews talking about selling to the crowd on his goal. The Boo Birds were coming down. Rightfully so. Good. I think after that first goal, the crowd really got into it, which is great. And then after the second one, the place was rocking. I want to leave no confusion after this triumphant Leafs win. I am leaving this game with two emotions. Number one, glee and joy because the Leafs won. Hooray! Every night and every day that the Leafs win is a good day for me. And number two, Brad! Do something! Because wow! If you cannot get up for this game, your coach called you out after last game. He called you out during this game. And after calling you out, you played worse. Some of you are watching this right now going, fire the coach. I don't care. I don't know him. Fine. Go for it. Even if this team doesn't deserve to have a fourth coach come in for this core. Even if this team doesn't deserve it, I don't know if it gets it going. If it gets them going, fine. Or trade somebody. I'm tired of hearing Matias Maccelli trade rumors. Trade someone else. Make a waiver claim. Friggin' call someone up. Do anything. Get anyone. Because this team is going nowhere at the speed of light. Because win or lose, holy MackiNAW, is this team in trouble. That is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. Like, you're not going to win every game. You're not. At very least, win the ones you're supposed to. Oh, they did win. Oh, they did. I wish I could look at life like that. I really do. I really do.